Either way.
You are live.
Fantastic. It is 5:03 p.m. and I would like to call to order the May 28th Board of Trustees meeting for the Grand Marais Public Library. I'm Sarah McManus, trustee. Get to introduce yourself.
I'm Shane Steele, City Sustainability Coordinator.
Sue McClone, trustee.
Dave Mills, County Commissioner.
And Olin Veer, trustee.
Electra Brandwin, Library Director.
Do you need something? I was just going to point out where you're in
Oh, thanks.
May. All right. I've been thinking it was June all day, so
Me too. It
just
feels like
shocked to discover it's May, and then the note said March, and I was really it threw me. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, don't blink because June is.
Yes, that's how it goes, huh? All right. For the consent agenda tonight, we have the approval of our agenda, the bills, and the minutes from last month's meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
And Sue, the motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And that brings us to our first item of new business. Shane is here to talk with us about the boiler replacement.
Yeah.
Thank you for the memo to get us started with some background.
Yeah. It's nice that we're here in the building because we don't have to talk about it conceptually. We can point to it, and not that we will, but we can get up and look at it. Yeah, so you have two boilers in the room back there that feed the in-floor underneath our feet in the front of the building, and the radiators along the north wall there. They're propane boilers, propane tanks outside. We had a heating assessment done in 2022. The boilers were flagged for being a concern. They're not like ready to fail, but they're now in the window of we should consider replacing these boilers. So Electra approached me about what are the options, and I looked into it. There's not a lot of really interesting technology that's come out for boilers, how to heat water, but you've got different fuel sources, propane and electric. They're about the same cost to install. They would.
Well, that's interesting.
They would both. Yeah, well, we didn't get actual quotes.
Yeah,
But
but
we got
being in the ballpark is
from Jamar, who does the buildings for the city, kind of does building operations stuff. They gave us this range of $22,000 to $26,000, and said, if you go either or, you're going to pay about that much. So if you're thinking about budgeting for new boilers, that's what you can expect to spend. They would both plug into the existing hydronic system, which in that heating assessment was in fine shape, doesn't need to be replaced. The thing that has changed since that heating assessment is the heat pumps that were installed. So you've got a tri-zone system over there with 3 wall units in the back, and then these three here, and then there's another system. Well, maybe, yeah. There are 9 of these on the wall in the library. And they do a great job of heating, definitely in the shoulder seasons, and they can dehumidify. But the library does need the boiler to back up those heating systems. And there are a couple of electric, like wall ceiling things near the doorways to heat near the door. Yeah. I don't know if they're on and operational all the time, but they exist. And then there's an air handling system that circulates air because your boiler doesn't circulate any air. And now the heat pumps will circulate air. But yeah, as far as like, are there heat pump boilers? I think there are. They're not there yet. So when we're talking about replacing a boiler, we're talking about replacing it with just a propane version or an electric version. If you switch to electric, you get a rebate from the utility. You can eliminate your propane tank. You can buy your fuel from the public utility, and you have a more efficient fuel source. it is just looking at bills from the last 3 years. It is projected to be more expensive to operate, but that's with propane prices as they have been for 3 years.
Hmm.
One thing that we can say about electric prices is that they're much more consistent, especially our electric prices, because they're set once a year at the Public Utility Commission, and they go up every year about the cost of everything, just incrementally a few cents, a few fractions of a cent, I should say.
Mhm.
Propane, we're kind of at the whim of the world, which right now fossil fuels prices are going up, so propane costs will go up. Maybe that will go down again, but it's not in our control. So, yeah, I guess Electra invited me to just, give you those two options, right? And to just maybe answer any questions you have about the process or what to think about as you go forward. Yeah.
Would you also speak to the trustees about the stability of electric in the city or how the other buildings are performing?
Yeah. So City Hall is now all electric building. It's got geothermal, heat and
Can we
electric.
tie into that?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's like
see
what,
it, just right there.
17
Easy trenching.
wells under the parking lot that are pulling some heat, not heat as we would think of it, but like pulling, very stable,
Non-freezing.
non-freezing air temperature from below. But yeah, it's an all electric building, and we're not concerned about blackouts or anything like that, because even if we do have an issue on the transmission line that feeds town, we have a diesel generating unit that we can turn on and power all of town, including the entirety of town just can be run on that diesel unit. And so if there is an outage, it's brief, and gets turned on. Anyone who lives in town kind of knows that the outages are few and far between on our system.
Is the expected lifespan of the propane versus the electric boiler similar?
That's a good question. I didn't even look into it,
Okay.
but I can. I would expect that the electric would have a longer lifespan because there's just less
Fewer moving
parts in
parts.
there. You just have resistance heat, or you just have heat that you're just heating water. The propane, the things that were failing in the propane tank or the propane boilers were the fixtures and the things that move the propane around.
What is the lifespan?
The lifespan of those boilers was 15 years, 15 to 20. That we're now in the 15th or 16th year, and the replacement, it's like replace them before 20 years.
Mhm.
The Congregational Church has electric boilers. That's our main, and then we have a fuel oil backup. And it's about 15 years now. And we had to replace a couple of the computer motherboards,
Sure.
but that seemed to us fix the problem or fix our issue. So yeah. So for us, it's been a good thing for the church, and a lot more boilers. You can imagine, or a lot more heat has to be generated and all that, and has 2 floors. So, but yeah, it's been consistent.
Could we just do like one electric? Replace one of the boilers just with electric, so we can stagger them?
Interesting thought. I don't know if there would be a reason to do that or not. Like, are you any reason?
Well, just if we replace both of them at the same time, my understanding was we rarely need both of them. It's just that you want that redundancy.
Yeah.
And so if we replace one, an electric, I think as well is more reliable, then that would be maybe hopefully our primary is how we could like rig it, and then have the propane, and then with keep in mind we want to replace it, but maybe just not now, maybe like in a third of the span of the electric's life or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the total state, right? Like, because you said 10 to 15, so maybe in 5 years, right?
Yeah. Replace one
Now,
now and one in a few years.
in like 5 years.
Yeah. I wonder,
There's probably efficiencies in just doing it.
yeah,
Right.
probably there are,
Mhm.
than having them come twice and do 2 projects,
Mhm.
but can certainly look into that. Jamar,
Mhm.
you know, they looked at our propane deliveries to this building and they looked at our electric usage and they gave us like okay, you'll need about this big and about this cost, but we can hit them back with questions.
Mhm. Yeah, and just yeah, I feel like we kind of went through this not too long ago with different, maybe it was in 2022 with the heating assessment and all that, but it's hard to keep track. So it'd be helpful just to understand the specifics of the system, like if that is indeed the case, that it's a redundant thing and we don't usually need both of them unless it's wicked cold or something, and then
Yeah.
or maybe because maybe I'm just making that up.
And I might be making this up, but I think it is redundant, but that they both run.
Right.
There's not one that's like worn out and one's brand new because we
Right.
never use it. It's like they'll alternate
Yeah,
which one's running,
yeah.
because you don't have that much to heat out
Mhm.
here. It's just the inflow, so it's one could do the job, but
Mhm.
redundancy. Because if that one goes out, then you don't have enough heat for the whole building.
Wait, what?
If one goes out and you don't have the redundant second one, then you don't have.
Oh,
enough
yeah.
heat.
Yeah, they struggle to keep up. That's it. Yeah, like if one of them, they both are always operating. From the face of them, they're telling me they're always both operating. If one goes into error code and the other one is functioning, our building before the heat pumps couldn't keep temperature. I don't know if that tells you how they work, but that's what I experienced.
So maybe
So maybe it's not redundant
Never
so
mind.
much, but or maybe that's why I was like, one almost does it, right? But
I did say one targeted towards the floor and one targeted to the radiators, or is it?
they're both for the whole system.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Misheard.
I think that's all just working off of memory. So.
You've got a lot of memory. You've got a lot of history.
I have
with
a
us.
lot of memories.
Like the corners of. Sorry.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I like the idea of seeing if we can stagger it, but again, maybe that's not even if it's like a 2 different project 5 years apart. Like I still think I don't know. Maybe we should just trust Jamar.
Maybe.
That was one of my questions. Though, was about the air source, air to water heat pumps, and yeah, I get it. It's not.
What?
It's not there quite yet. Yeah,
It'd be
there's no
much more
Mitsubishi
expensive.
or okay.
I think it would. We didn't even get I asked them,
Yeah.
what are our options, and it's pretty much just electric boiler, propane boiler, because those things are more expensive significantly.
Yeah.
We did. We were looking at replacing our fuel oil, and so we asked. We did talk to someone from the. Her name was Nancy. She just retired.
Yeah,
and
from Simpa.
Yeah,
That would be our
from Simpa.
utility.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she said, 3 years ago, she said, heat pumps for boilers are just 1 year away. And then we talked to her the next year, they're 1 year away. And then she retired. So
It's can't quite do the super cold temps yet.
yeah.
One thing that when we were putting in the heat pumps is the contractor did look at the air handling system and said, and we could do just a heat pump into that, and so then you'd have a heat pump into the ductwork. It would be expensive. Not proposing that you do that, but just like if you that's also there, maybe for the future or maybe for never, but it was talked about as like if you're adding heat to the building, you could add a heat pump here, and then you're adding heat by pushing around the warm air.
Because that's an air exchanger, right?
Yeah, I think it just moves air around the building.
So then we wouldn't need either of the boilers at all then?
I don't know. I think you still need the boilers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Confused.
yeah, I think you're right, just because, again, they don't quite do it in the
Yeah.
cold. Yeah.
Be interesting to know what ratio the propane is. Do we know how much less propane is being used since we put the heat pump in, the air pumps in? You know, I
Mhm.
mean, is it at 30% less over the winter? Is it 50?
1,000%.
Yeah, we have a couple years of data now, so we might. I think the last time I looked at it, I only had 1 year of data, and it
Yeah.
just wasn't enough to draw a trend line.
It's so hard to compare winter data too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
But that would be interesting to see.
I
Mhm.
mean, yeah,
Average whatever data we have.
Mhm.
Well,
if it is like, if it's only 30% of what it was 3 years ago,
Oh.
you know, to throw out a number, would it be feasible then to keep the propane? Because then we always have the backup, even though it might be a little more expensive. But if the amount of propane we're using is reduced significantly, I mean, I prefer electric for sure.
Mhm.
But I'm just,
Well, it would be heat is heat, like it would be that much less electric heat that would be
yeah.
required, or
Mhm.
what, maybe I'm not understanding.
Well, I'm just saying then we'd have propane backup
Sure,
in case of
yeah.
an outage.
I was kind of wondering about that too, but then I should trust in the generator.
I think so. I think you should trust the distribution system and the generator. You know, you're not on a overhead line here with lots of trees that could take you out. You're underground fed. You're right in the middle of town. You're not
Yep.
further afield on the end of a line. And yeah, a reason, if you were looking for like, well, why electric, is that we have it's not a local source because it's coming from far away, but
Sure.
you're buying from the utility
Oh,
rather
yeah,
than a
for sure.
propane company.
Yeah.
You're
Public
also
utility. Yeah.
public utility, and you're also you're kind of in line with the city's goals of electrification and reducing the use of fossil fuels. So if that's a goal, like
Mhm.
it meets it. It meets it for sure to be an all electric building and not on. But yeah, propane. It is cheaper than electric now, currently. But yeah, if you look at a graph, they're all over the place.
Mhm.
Well, this
So-
wouldn't be a choice out of the bounds of the city, because then you'd have to have two, like we have to have
You
two.
have to have two.
Mm,
But
mhm,
having this wonderful ability to just
mhm,
flick on the generator and have the city be okay, I think it makes the electric
mhm,
a really good option.
mhm. Yep.
So, two questions then, to move it forward is, do we as trustees vote to go forward with this, or is this a city decision? And then also, since this is under maintenance and all that kind of stuff and replacement, is this money coming from the city, or is it coming from our capital reserves? I would believe it would come from the city, but let's throw it out there.
Well, I think we use the library money for the heat pump or for the mini splits.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. We did.
And
Yeah.
our insurance, is paid through the library's fund. So I think it's all right. It's all library
I think it would
dollars. Yeah.
probably be on the library.
I believe it would be your funds,
Okay.
and whether it's 211 reserve or 215 reserve is an option you get to make. If we were in a position of needing help, then I think it would be a conversation with city council and with budget or levying and all of that.
I think it's something we should certainly think about tonight as we look at the budget.
Yes.
Yeah, but we don't have we do 26, 22 to 26, right?
For each, our total.
Oh, a range of prices,
Yeah,
22,000 to
Sorry,
26,000.
sorry.
I was thinking years at
I'm
first.
pretty sure that was total,
Yeah, I think you're right.
but I'll dig that up real quick.
It's got to be, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the reason that the number is
Yeah, okay.
is
Good point,
more
Douglas.
of a range than I would typically give you for a decision like this is because the project was posed to me as like we're thinking about budgeting, and so about how much do we need for this project.
Mhm.
Of course, when it comes time to really, okay, let's get some real numbers. We'll get quotes from multiple contractors and get everything locked down like that.
Maybe we should get quotes for doing it in 2 parts. Because maybe we can afford that better, or maybe, as you pointed out, maybe it'd be more expensive. And maybe we should investigate whether if we do it in 2 parts, we should keep the propane a few more years. Yes.
Mm.
Might as well look at all the possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the thoughts I was just having is like if we do one electric, they're gonna have to put in like a new service line or something, I'd assume, just because it's a higher amperage need.
Yeah, you're probably a 3-phase customer already, but
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if you are actually.
That'd be something.
It's a big building.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like even if we just did one, we would still need that service. But if we did one, we could do the service for 2, planning for doing that eventually. But yeah, maybe it is a better fit for the budget if we just do one.
Yeah. We could use the numbers just to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what we're working with.
And it is 22 to 26,000 for the
Total.
project. And that was an installed cost. So that's not just boilers. It's functioning boilers.
Does the city have what do they call it? Just like a contract with Jamar, just like a maintenance contract.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
They're up here regularly working on the city's buildings.
So, from my perspective, in this building, I know that other buildings are being serviced by Jamar, and Lenny and I pursued what it would look like to have a contract service for our building. And it was quite high for a building that doesn't
Okay.
have a contract in place already.
Okay.
And I can bring that forward, but it's not a shared thing.
Sure.
Any contract that the city has with Jamar
Oh, gotcha.
is
Yeah,
not
we're
shared to our department.
I see.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Mhm.
I just trying to think of when we get new equipment, if there's like a service agreement or something like that. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we're more informed now.
Yes. Is the 22 to 26,000 one boiler or 2?
It's both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah. The
That's
26
what I was
was
thinking, but it suddenly occurred to me to clarify.
yeah. The 26 was the turnkey amount. So like you get a working boiler with that for that much. Both you get a replacement of
The current
your
system.
your current system.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Any other questions for Shane?
So next steps are just getting a formal quote. Is that right?
Well, I'll
Or
follow up on
quote
some of those
options.
questions
Okay.
and get back to Electra and then I guess we could get some quotes.
Maybe we talk
I would be
about-
more interested in the timeline
Yeah.
of it. Like, is it something that you want to accomplish before the next heating season? Then we go immediately, or is it something you want to accomplish after the next heating season, like one more season with these boilers?
Mhm.
Then we have more time.
Okay, that's helpful.
It feels tight though to
To do
have
it
it
this year.
done this year before heating season. So you're gonna want to turn the boilers on in probably October.
Mhm.
Yeah, that seems fast because we're now almost to June, as we've discussed.
Don't tell Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Doesn't seem like an emergency.
Yeah.
There have been issues, but they've been fixed. So.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Shane.
you.
Thanks,
For being
Shane.
here.
Nice. Team building.
Oh. Last year, when we did the library trustees library performance assessment, which is basically an annual review from the perspective of library service provision, team development, team building, staff retention was of significant interest to trustees and also for the administrator and for me. And so part of the work that I've done on that, if I can get on the right page, is looking into professional support options. So just where we're standing right now, I am, so for what I believe that we need is an ongoing program for being able to speak with staff incoming about what a forming, functioning team looks like, does, is, how it behaves, and normalizing onboarding new members as well, and just trying to help us understand where is our team at right now in a progression of development. Just having some foundational information about what a team is, I think would be very helpful for us. So, also, we want to have some activities where staff are learning about one another, what our strengths are, and helping us grow together. And so I've explored professional support options to strengthen our capacity for team development. And proposals are coming in consistently in the $10,000 to $15,000 range. And they often are including two core components. One of them is on-site development for all staff, as well as coaching support to strengthen my capacity and build and sustain effective teams. I want to approach this strategically and responsibly, that we want to make investment here, but also build a budget that can sustain or support this type of work. And I believe that I have some ideas and proposals with consultants that I could implement something this year in about the $5,000 range, and we have room in our budget to do that. Then we could look ahead with our budget proposal for 2027 and build in the next phase of that work for that year and potentially for the year after as well. We'll just keep looking ahead so that this becomes a muscle that we're building and tools that we're working on together, and then becomes something that stays with the library. The skill set would be with the library and continue into the future. And I do feel that some professional support layer is needed to build that foundation. So did I have anything else on there? Do you have any questions for me?
The $10,000 to $15,000 range, is that more of a one-time thing? Like, I mean, probably over several months, but a one-time thing, and then the 5,000 would be the ongoing. Is that how I'm understanding this, or?
Okay, so you're asking, what does a package look like?
Yeah.
What does something like this
I
look
mean,
like?
if you're putting $5,000 in for a budget, but it's 10 to 15,000, you know, is that going to be extra? You know, coming from the 211 2015, and then the 5,000 will continue what has been started.
So when we talk about a proposal being in the $10,000 to $15,000 range, what we're looking at is often 6 months of one-on-one coaching between the consultant and the director, to help build context, build language and skill. And then just helping me navigate the situation that I'm in accordingly so that I can develop that muscle and use it. It also then has often an all-day workshop that could be something like the consultant comes on site and we do strengths finder together. Every individual gets to know what their strengths are. Then together as a team, we get to find out what that means now that we have those strengths at the table. And like if we were looking for new team members, what would strengthen us? What skill set would we want to diversify our group? Knowing that we have a lack of a certain type of skill set. What does that mean in terms of how we work together? One of the, so that would be an all day thing. And it's like, who are you and what's your world? Who are we and what's our world? And what does that mean for us going forward? So then there would be a component where the team talks about, now that we've received this information, what goals or next steps do we want to set for ourselves and work together in this context? Sometimes the $10 to $15,000 range thing also is including a consultant may want to do a stakeholder assessment where they speak with every person on the team and get a sense of where everybody's at. And it could be like a team agreement phase where they come and want everybody to talk about like what are we all working toward together? What are the non-negotiables that are present for our team? So it could have components like this.
Mhm.
And then sometimes there's also a follow-up with, a month has passed, 2 or 3 months have passed. Staff has been using and digesting and working with the system. Here's a 1 hour virtual or on-site discussion. How's it going and how can we move forward? So what I'm looking at is choosing a path that allows us to do a first pass, which would be like this $5,000 would be 6 months of coaching for me, plus an on-site staff component where everybody's engaged. For me, again, I really think that laying a foundation together is going to be really helpful. And yeah, again, just coming back to normalizing what a team is and how it develops over time. And then using that as a foundation for the group to talk about where we would like to be growing in terms of like what to better determine which types of development would be most successful and desirable for the whole group in future phases. There are many options.
It sounds useful. It sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
How do you evaluate? Are there reviews of programs like this? How do you evaluate and choose a good one? As a veteran of Minneapolis public schools, having sat through some really bad ones,
Yeah.
how are you going to decide? You can't just pick the cheapest. So what's the evaluation criteria when you're judging all these programs?
And are you asking me about which consultant I'm choosing?
Right. How do you decide then? And what kind of contract do you sign that's you get into this and oh, this is not good at all. How do you judge this?
Hmm. So I'm working with referrals to start with. For example, I'm aware and in contact with the county administrator on some of the services they've been providing and using at the county, and got a referral from them for one of the consultants I've been very happy with. One of the ways that I'm assessing a selection would be when I'm speaking to this person, do I feel that they understand what I'm telling them is our greatest opportunity and desire to get out of the program? Another agency that I spoke to, Library Strategies, is specifically geared towards libraries. And they are, I'm still trying to convey this properly. I think they're a part of or division of the St. Paul Public Library System, or their foundation. And then they have several consultants that they are consistently working with for libraries specifically.
You have sources of good advice here. You just have people who can give you some references and
Arrowhead Library System, working with them, and who's been a successful match for them. I started this process with a staff survey to try to figure out, like, what does it mean for you to be a team? What does it look like when you're feeling supported? What does it look like when you feel like the support or the team isn't coming together in quite the right way? And then just looking at what that picture is for us. And then, like I said, conveying to the consultants what I think is of interest and importance in moving forward. And then also I've been wanting consultants who are willing to work with us budgetarily.
I think that total number of 10 to 15,000 seems very reasonable for a project like this.
especially when you've got it extended over a period of time like that.
Yeah, I was concerned at first, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a great approach and well worth the dollars for development and team building for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I was going to caution is just in the strength finder thing, which I love, is just like I would caution hiring based on it, right? Like, I don't know if you even can, but it's just, from my experience, it's just really better understanding how people, because just what they're made of and where they might best fit. And yeah, so just understanding how they work a little bit more helps, I think, bring team cohesion.
I'm really excited to say that we're exploring some things at the city level as well.
Nice.
DISC assessment is one pathway that we're looking at there, and to see, because one of the first things I did was I brought this from my boss, but it's to my boss as well, of how I'm going to execute this or implement this in the library department. And just thinking how beneficial it would be if the city did a unified project where everyone is learning how to develop teams. And then those teams are able to have some sort of on-site development opportunity that gets us all speaking a shared language and also engages cross-departmentally across departments. It's something that I keep advocating for. And the proposals and how they would work with the multiple departments, they deviate from team building and look more toward leadership. So the pathways are going two different directions, and that's okay.
What you need from us?
Just letting you know.
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds awesome. Thank you.
Great.
All right. And then the budget proposal. Nice segue to budget discussion.
Does anybody need a copy of the budget?
Yes, paper would be great for this. Thank you.
Since I don't have it here, I think I don't have it here. Good.
It's okay. I've got it here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So we're going to think of these today as drafts and as discussions, proposals, because this year, we're gonna take a look at two different pathways forward. This is an initial projection for 2027 library budget discussion. Because we must submit this budget to the county by August 15th ahead of the levy adoption. We need to make sure that something gets to city council for their chance to have approval by July. So if possible, we'll approve a budget at the June meeting. We're assuming a 10% increase in health insurance and a 3% cost of living adjustment for staff.
Do we know, is that set, the 3%?
3% is set.
Okay,
Yep. And insurance, we won't know till fall.
yeah.
Then for service agreements, landscaping and website administration support are increasing the line a bit. So the board had discussed interest in exploring long-term capital planning, and I want to provide two pathways forward for our budget. One of them is that we start having a budget that is aligned, a capital aligned model, I guess you could call it. So when Kim came and visited us, we talked to her about how would we do capital improvement planning? Would we have all of our assets assessed? How would we make that happen? And she recommended at that time that instead of having all of your assets assessed, you could use the depreciation schedule to project a dollar amount that you would want to have built into the budget each year. And the depreciation amount is just about $47,500. And so the idea is that every year our budget presented would include this line with about this much money in it. And our budget would grow every year by that amount.
So is this depreciated amount for like the everything?
It's everything that's on the schedule.
Like the heat pumps or the boilers?
The heat, I know that the air source heat pumps are on there.
Or I meant the boilers. I mean, with this,
We probably need to see a depreciation.
Is this gonna cover our boiler costs?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah.
That's what so what this would cover is our building is aging and we don't know what its needs will be. We already are aware that the boilers are in need of replacement, and we're aware that the rotunda and stonework could use some attention. Because we don't know, we're gonna start putting money away, and it's this amount every year based on the depreciation schedule. So this would be our new budget. Every year we would have that amount in it. If we did this and we kept, what are we keeping here? No, if we did that, we would have a budget that's 13.2% increase this year.
And then it'd be built in.
And then it would be built in. And also, I just want to share that last year, we underspent our budget by $95,000, mostly due to staffing transition. And that those dollars can be used for smoothing the levy.
Say that number again, sorry.
Last year,
Mhm.
the budget was underspent by $95,000.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's like a quarter. Pretty huge for smoothing things over.
Pathway 2 is service continuation model. It means I'm giving you the staffing levels and the programming levels that we had this year with some adjustments that we can talk about. So I just took whatever we had last year and moved it over and then made some adjustments. For example, we've been talking about 1/3 of our circulation is digital content. 40% of our audiobook collection was not checked out in multiple years. And so we can see a trend that we're starting to move more along in line with national trends toward digital content circulation. And I explored Hoopla, and they believed that we could launch a collection. They recommended that we start with $2,000. And so I'm saying 3. But so the way that they work, let's just talk about Hoopla. Let's just go on a little side journey for just a sec. Hoopla is a streaming service. It does videos, audiobooks, ebooks, I think it's like a graphic novel or comic book thing. It also does music. And so that's what they offer through their platform. They have 2 models here. One is current popular high interest titles, and it's 1 user at a time, so you wait in line. But they also have a significant collection of materials that are available infinitely. Everybody can check them out at the same time, and there's no waiting. The titles maybe not the brand new item, but they're always available for you. And so if we already have Libby available to supplement, we could also introduce Hoopla to our community and just see what the appetite is for that. And they recommended that we start, so you don't, I'm trying to think if there's 0 contract. I think there is. You can turn it on, turn it off whenever you want to. And you kind of debit. You put your $2,000 in there. They would set it up based on the number of people that are our users. And then they would say, okay, given your community size and what we have typically seen with libraries of this size, we recommend that we let every person check out up to 6 items per month. And if you had $2,000, that should get you through your first year, and you'd have a better look at what you're dealing with. Because it's on demand purchasing, it's a little bit of a guess. I talked to another public library, Hoyt Lakes, in the region, and they're so excited about their Hoopla. And they have a budget of about $4,500 that they invest in each year, and their users are so excited about it and continue to use it. They said, we started off small. It took a while for people to catch on and like it, but once they did, they really did. They're really happy with it. And they no longer have, I'm not proposing this. They no longer have audiobooks. The direction that their community was ready for was to move completely to streamed platforms. That's not the case for our community, but I do think there's argument for seeing what we could do with a streaming service. I'm still doing research. I just was at a director's meeting, and I've heard that some libraries are canceling, larger library systems are canceling their subscription and work with Hoopla because the growth is exponential, which is what's happening with Libby. The growth is so big that they just can't do the service justice. So smaller library, Hoyt Lakes, really successful, relatively stable budget, manageable by increasing or decreasing the number of checkouts per patron once the trend is set. And other larger libraries, not the best match, because to order the stable service, the budget had to keep growing so much. So when we're talking about what direction we might set our service levels at for next year, I'm proposing giving that a try for our community and just seeing how it performs. And I think that $3,000 is healthy. It's a healthy estimate.
So question, but you only have it in this version, not in the other version of the
That's right.
budget.
That's right. Now you guys can you can pick and choose and move it and say, this is really important to us. And if we're going to do it, let's do it. But I also wanted it to be visible what that capital improvement amount would do to your budget for the year. Okay, and then above that, the staff travel and development, you can see that that is increased by $5,000, and that's to do our plan for team building development. And oh, what else is it? I think that's the key. Those are the key factors here. I'm bringing the programming down based on what we're experiencing this year. Number one, capacity. Number two, how much of our programming this year didn't need a budget. So yeah, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit. This is helpful.
Year to date, is that like
Year to date.
2026 year to date? Is that through
That is through March.
March. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, and I had a 25%. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, March.
Okay.
On health insurance, you raised it by 17 cents.
Oh yeah, health insurance.
Or it appears to be only raised by 17 cents, and you said that it was a 10% increase.
That's a 17%. Just kidding.
Someone misheard.
I'll take a look at that. I'm actually wondering if the 2026 number, which is taken from these reports.
It just got flipped over there.
This thing that you get in your packet, I'm wondering if the 2026 number is not correct. I don't think it's what I had for our budget last year, but at any rate, I will look into that.
Yeah, it'd be hard to believe it went from 28 or 35 was our previous max to 50, but maybe. What would that have?
Yeah, I mean,
30%.
that if it hasn't been increased, then that's going to push the both of those numbers up.
Oh, I think I remember this now. We budgeted for a crazy increase, like a 30% increase, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So then we'll need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and a quarter is at $7,000 about. So maybe
So
it's
this is-
28 grand.
So that's the budget, but an increase in budget is still covered. Oh, versus the actual. Okay,
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
but yeah, that's just make sure those, so we don't show up to the city and they're like, well, you forgot the health insurance and that's another 5%.
So we'll need the actual
Yep.
of 2026, which we'll know, and then we'll add 10% to that. So it's like 28 grand plus. It's almost like 31 grand, I think. Is that right?
And if we can drop 10, 20 off of that, then it's, and the budget increase becomes less.
Yeah.
Gonna make the whole thing look better.
What was that?
It's 2025.
Actual. The grayed out things
So
are
28
actuals.
is low because we had staff turnover.
You didn't have to pay as much.
Oh,
Because there
that's
weren't.
true.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll want to check that against
Yeah.
a full
The
year.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't
35
wanna
is the
keep
highest.
overworking the staff, otherwise our health insurance will be used.
What else?
We don't have to do anything with medical leave or family leave. That's not in the budget.
It's just not different. What do we don't have to do?
Oh, it's not in the budget at all.
Yeah,
Nine,
family
mine's
members.
9 and 10.
I'm wondering if it's because you kind of have to see what they do. I was asking about that too.
Yeah, there's a certain, yeah. There gets to be a line here, probably 14. 1 through 14 is very much kind of out of our hands, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, also, I just wanted to share that the county has been having constant discussions about budgeting and just potential changes. And I mean, we have a joint powers agreement. The county has a joint powers agreement with the city, so it's a contract. And it's also considered like a non-mandated service, like by state law, whatever. It's not one of our mandated service that we must provide. And so through the different assessments, there's a desire to kind of discern between non-mandated and mandated. Another example of a non-mandated would be the airport. Like, we don't have to have the airport, but it's pretty important. Same with the library, right? So just be aware if that's kind of the language that's being used. And then there's talk of like an application process for the budget to present to the county board, and that the intention of that is for county board members to have more numbers and data on just what is included in the budget, even though we can just look through all the budgets anyways. So hopefully it won't be too onerous. I'm not sure that it's going to be going to the library and like the airport and stuff, but there is just kind of more formality, I'd say, being proposed. And I don't think it's anything to be concerned of, unless, of course, it is too onerous, and then we should know about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't be alarmed
We've
there.
been informed.
Yeah. So yeah, and one of the commissioners is a big fan of the zero basis accounting, where you assume you have nothing, and then with everything you add to the budget, you kind of have to justify it, versus, as you say, bringing last year's numbers over, and that's a very involved process, and that's not what's happening in the county, at least. So, but that just came to mind when you said I just moved the numbers over, and that makes sense to me, because that's what we're basing everything off of, is our historical costs and what's real. So, just wanted to share that with the board.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how do you spell that name?
Okay.
I think once we get the health insurance number righted, these bottom numbers are going to look way better, and I'd have a lot more comfort both with the capital improvement fund as well as the other like the digital collection and staff development, which I fully support. It's just trying to keep things
Stable.
Also, I don't know. I don't know how to approach the capital improvement fund. If you guys have any thoughts there, like doing, because this is like the real number, right? But depreciated over how long? And it seems like a mighty high number, especially. I mean, I guess I don't know
Yeah, what's, the schedule is it 10% of the assets a year? Is it, you know? Yeah,
Right, what that is, you know.
So a little more about what's involved in that 47.5.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not that it doesn't make sense to me, it just would be helpful to have more context.
Yeah, for sure.
and again, going back, I mean, even, do you remember, even when we were talking about these things and other things, it's been an ongoing conversation about, you know, is the city owning the building, or is the library owning it? The city owns it, then they'll pay other building expenses. Why would it have to come out of the capital funds of the library
Mhm.
if no other building in the city is being funded, repaired, upgraded, replaced in that manner?
Mhm.
So this would create an avenue for that.
It's almost a horse apiece in my mind. I don't think
Nope.
we should take from the endowments or whatever those
Mhm.
funds have been given, because those were for non-ordinary library expenses. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I would hope that the city would have been doing this already, but I think this is probably a good conversation to have, probably between the county and the city, just about what the strategy should be with that. And
Mhm.
because there could be pushback from the county about this just straight up dollar amount, right? But if with a little more information and context, it might just, you know, make the best sense to do it, you know. But it might be in like next year or something, you know. I don't know.
And this doesn't show any smoothing with our reserves.
No, what I really need right now is the direction.
Mhm.
Like which direction is the most salient? For example, if there was a strong feeling of moving forward with the capital, and there's adamance about wanting to do the ebooks, I want to develop staff, develop the collection, and have capital development, then that's one picture I can put together. That's the kind of direction I was thinking of.
Mhm.
And it's interesting to go back to the conversation about like what is the strategy, and I think that Kim's point about a strategy for capital improvement fund being the depreciation schedule, she was reminding us that it's been since 1990 or 2004 or something. I think it was maybe the early 2000s when we had our last significant endowment, or our last significant bequest.
Yeah.
And so we approved. Okay.
I'm also wondering if trustees want to sit down, if there anyone here can go at any time and talk to Mike Roth or to Kim about any of the questions that you have about the building. And if we wanted, we could invite them here to a board meeting and see if they're available for that. About having conversations with the county and the city about a best strategy. Like, is it their level? Is it our level?
Mhm.
And maybe it's, yeah,
Any of
maybe it's
any
in the
of
joint
that.
powers agreement. I'm not familiar enough.
It doesn't address capital.
It doesn't.
It
It
doesn't.
doesn't.
No, just 5% increase.
Mhm. Right.
That's a conversation to have then. Let's start with Mike.
Okay. Do you want to be in on that?
Yep.
Do you feel like it'd be helpful to have him at a board meeting, or do you want to meet with him individually?
I think board. I think board would be better because we don't do committees anymore.
Right.
So it'd be so if I met with Mike, it'd be my interpretation of what Mike said to the
I
rest
see.
of the board.
Good point. Not
Okay.
that we don't trust your interpretation, but
Tell us anything. Do you want to generate some questions of what types of things we want to ask him? So that he can
Yeah, that'd
come
be helpful.
prepared.
Yeah, I'm happy to, yeah, okay.
And we can either do that now or we can
Let's
send them
let's
to
let's
Electra to-
throw questions at Amanda, and she can collect them.
Okay,
Let's
try to do it in a couple of days if you need this for budgeting.
Right, because we'll need to get them to him and then give him time to respond and hopefully be available for our June meeting.
Yeah, I guess my main question is we've always budgeted $2,000
For
and
carpet specifically.
okay, exclusively, yeah. And so, but nothing else. And clearly there's been things done, but have we always just picked away at the funds? Is that not the city funds, but the library funds to pay for any?
During my tenure, that has been the encouraged strategy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So 1 month from now, we're looking at this again.
Mhm.
And to be really confident about going forward with a choice, what are we looking for? What do you need me to do for you?
Personally, I like path two a lot until we have more of the conversation around or between city county or whatever, or with Mike. When we adjust the health insurance, I think it's going to be more like 3.4% increase, and that's very, very reasonable.
Very comfortable.
We do know that we're going to have these boilers though, and so we should definitely budget for those, right? Like throw in 26,000 on top at least. So it's kind of a merge between the two. I don't know.
And does budgeting for you look like adding a dollar amount to this, or does it look like we know that we underspent by a significant amount last year and we're prepared to take care of that now? And we have time to talk about what a strategy would be. For example, knowing that the rotunda is going to need repair.
Be my preference, just thinking about the timing of getting this together for a July presentation. I would lean towards path two and start the conversation about capital fund replacement.
maybe a year of talking about it and planning for it may make it go over better.
Right, we can do a little more diligent.
maybe including the boilers into have the capital improvement fund there, but have it in the budget because it's going to be next summer. So yeah, so I mean, it's
So we do have funds left over from 25 that we could use for it.
Yeah.
but it does. But if we put it in the budget, then it starts the conversation and moves it forward rather than us paying from previous funds. It's saying, okay,
Doesn't surprise anybody.
so that's about half of what we're asking for. So
Half of the capital improvement.
that's half of what we're asking for. So if next year we do the 47,000 for 28, then we say, well, it's not a 0 to 47, it's a 26 to 47 or 25 to 47. So it's a little smoother. not as big as a not as much uphill.
Yes. What would the default of the 95,000 be?
Just sit in our reserve.
It builds your
Emergency
reserve,
fund.
Which one?
the 211.
Okay.
And right now your 211 is very healthy. The recommended is 25 to 50% of operational expenses. And you're floating a little bit higher than 6 months or 50%. So you have a very healthy reserve, plus this money just got put in there.
So we had the 50%, and now we're getting the 95,000
Yeah,
that's put in there.
yeah.
Well, I think we should definitely use the 95. Yeah.
Yeah, I would feel more comfortable using some of that.
Yeah.
Than budgeting.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah. If we
That's
got
what
it, we
we're
should
doing.
use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus
We can
increase.
avoid asking for it. It makes
Yeah.
it look better.
But I like the on-ramp idea too, of just like asking for something.
More than
Yeah.
2,000, but less
Yeah.
than 47.5.
Yeah, bringing up that this has got to,
Yeah.
this has to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing is we raise it $10,000 over the next 5 years until,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Our 25% or 20 or 25% increase over the next
Yeah.
till we get to that targeted.
The 47,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Increase it. Yeah. Incrementally.
Let's,
Does that make sense, Electra?
What I'm hearing you say is if we're going to move forward with something that looks similar to the path to, which is like service continuation with staff development and a trial basis of a digital collection. We need for certain to see how the staff lines shake out because there's something off about those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to see a capital improvement fund, maybe even as a separate budget. I don't know. We want to see a capital improvement fund that's closer to $10,000 or that stays at $2,000. I'm not clear.
We don't want it to stay at 2,000. We want to grow it incrementally.
Yeah.
Yep.
With the goal of annually adding 47.5 to it.
Or
But
whatever the
whatever
Gotta be.
the depreciation. Yeah.
And so for this year, maybe something around $10,000 total. And we're going to change this line from carpet sinking fund to capital improvement fund so that we're not limited on how the dollars are spent.
yes.
Right?
Sounds
So we're
good.
communicating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting our foot in the door here on increasing this amount bit by bit.
Mm-hmm. That 95,000 though, how, I mean,
Definitely can be used for
I think we were talking about incorporating that as well into the whole,
right, into the smoothing,
well, into this year's budget
Budget.
as well as, yeah.
some of that.
So in addition, so we're looking at staff development, introduction of the new collection, and $10,000 of a capital improvement fund, smooth under 5% increase using the $95,000, which we're also going to use ultimately we're intending to also use that for boiler replacement. Am I on the right page?
Mhm.
So let's see how it shakes out. Number
Yeah,
one.
that sounds like a good
Yeah.
strategy.
Okay.
And just on that 5% number, there's a little bit of heartburn at the county board about that. And so I don't think it's well, I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion about it, but I think the real like desire is just to have more discussion from the county board, like a presentation, much like the city councils. So yeah. Rather than like, even if it's less than 5%, still have,
Give them.
Yeah.
Justification for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's like 4% or whatever, even if it's, just the conversation, just that FaceTime, I think would be appreciated. So. I can't remember when that was and was not done.
What?
Visiting the county board or presenting to the county board.
As in my memory, it's only been done to introduce the assistant library director's position, which caused a 21% increase in the budget,
Okay.
and providing a plan forward for how that would be smoothed over using the 215.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and,
that
and the way
was-
that the model is set up right now is we'll call you if we want to talk to you, but by the time that they get the budget,
Right.
there's no time, there's a
Right.
statutory, there's an agreement requirement to just approve the budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, by a certain time.
Yep.
If they don't decide, I can't remember when it is, Dave, it's like the September something.
Yep.
But if they don't talk to us or decide before, then they lose the opportunity.
It all sounds. Yeah. So that would have been like what, 28 or when? Like,
When that would have been
yeah.
2015 through
15,
2018,
yeah.
probably in that range.
Wow.
I think I attended one
Okay.
at the last one.
That's helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Because I couldn't remember. And I thought it had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think it used to happen annually, just regardless. It was just like that 5% is like, you guys don't have a choice. It's just kind of passed on. So,
Okay.
Do you feel comfortable with your
Yeah,
direction for budget?
I think I've got what you are saying, Yeah.
and just as a question, is there any reason why we wouldn't use all of the 95,000, both for the boiler stuff as well as bumping up the
Smoothing.
capital improvement and smoothing? Yeah, I mean, it could be a decrease in the budget, and that would be very popular. But then we'd have to.
But then the next year it's gonna
Exactly.
balloon.
So that would be that.
So there's that.
I would say if we're planning to use some of the 95 for boilers, I wouldn't put it in the budget as a asset. I would hold back 30,000 for boilers and put 65 in the
Yes,
budget.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, and then, yeah, okay.
Makes sense.
But I wouldn't give them a budget of, hey, we're minus 5%.
No, I
Sure.
don't think that.
Well, especially if we're trying to build the capital improvement fund.
Right.
So I was just trying to, I'm thinking out loud, but I'm just trying to think
Nope,
through
that's great.
all of our options. Like, we could achieve that 47.5 maybe if we used the 95 this year, but we don't want to necessarily have that 47.5 next year, because then that would be a oomph, right? And
Right.
so we want to slowly build it in,
Mhm.
still like that, but
Yeah, one of the budget meetings that I attended a couple of years ago, people are like, well, one of the city council person says, well, you have such and such money, why aren't you using this for the budget? If we open the door to this,
Good point.
some people are gonna, at the county, it sounds like, and the city would probably seize on it and saying, until you have only this much money
sure.
in your
Mhm.
thing, don't ask us for any more increases.
Well, and that's why I was wondering about that 95 in particular, because I don't want to touch the other reserves to do any of that. But since
Right.
we'd already budgeted and received that 95,000, then we should use it,
Feels like tax dollars that should be.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than, but if we're also trying to build the capital improvement fund, yeah, that's where I'm just kind of going in circles. So,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I bet you next month it'll be way more clear when we have
It'll
some.
be so clear.
Well, at
We
least
will
have
have
some more.
more.
Yeah.
Data to be unclear about.
All right.
Thank you, Electra.
Sure
Yes.
thing.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
growth options. And now your report.
Right, me again.
Yeah.
Makwa. Okay. We filled our library clerk position, and boy, are we excited about Liam. He comes with good customer service experience and knowledge of technology, and is picking up the job very well. Very, very happy to have him on board. The summer reading program is our world right now, and that is launching on June 8th. There are multiple ways for people to participate across age groups. That's interesting. We have 3 reading logs. One is especially for pre-literacy early readers, and 2 are for essentially ages 6 and up, but anyone can choose any log, it's fine. And in addition to the reading challenges will result in every time you turn in a log, you get a nice prize or treat coupon from some of our community partners. We're working again with Java Moose, Dairy Queen. We have Hungry Hippie Tacos and Superior Creamery. And then every time a log is turned in, an individual will also receive a book voucher to Drury Lane Books. And so they get to go in there and shop for books, building in that lifelong love of learning and reading, as well as building their personal library. So that is the reading log program. And we also have ongoing events in the library. We have these little plushies. I think you saw my plushie last time. It's Good Egg and Bad Seed. And then we bought a few of their friends, and they are going to be hidden in the library come June 8th. And then littles can come in every time that they come to the library. They can find one and win a prize for that, as well as a raffle ticket for our Fridays raffle drawings. And that just gives them a second chance to win, so they can like double their prize. And we're also, I think over here, I'm going to do a read to a plant reading station. Our theme is plant a seed, read. And so anybody who comes in and reads to the plant will get a reading ready t-shirt or tote. They get they get a book. We are giving away a free picture book, and then they also get a small prize. And then when they come in the next time, they can get a raffle ticket for Fridays as well as a little prize. So each time they do that, they get more prizes as well. You can see the sign behind you, watch our readers grow. And so every time someone reads to the plants, that we put their name on a blossom and it will go up on the wall. And so we'll get our garden growing there.
Shoot.
And trying to think. Yeah, so then whoever's participating in those in-house things gets the raffle ticket drawing at the end of the week, and you don't have to be physically in the building to win. We are also doing 3 really exciting events that I think I talked to everybody about. We have Sarah's Serpentarium from Duluth, I think it is. They just opened our reptiles and lizard snakes thing down there, and Sarah is bringing up her critters, and there will be some hands-on learning and engagement with everybody who comes. We also have later in the year, we're going to have an aquatic insects exhibit that has touch tanks. So there will be little tanks with water in them that everybody can engage that way. We also have the Jolly Pops, as in Happy Dads, and they're going to come rock out with puppets and singing and humor and all the good stuff. Then I reached out to the Library Friends of Cook County and said, help, please. I need help finding a really rockin' season finale this year. And they found Big Animal Productions. And this is a group from Minneapolis that makes giant wooden puppets. And they have Makwa the bear coming. So the way that the celebration picnic will go is that Big Animal Productions will be here with a hands-on activity that everyone will do. And then we'll have lunch, and there's always games going on the lawn. And then we're going to do a parade to Harbor Park with Makwa the bear, over to the bear tree, and then into Harbor Park, where anyone can take a picture with Makwa on the shore to commemorate their reading success. So that is our summer reading program. It goes on till August 14th, culminating in that parade. And yeah, I got flyers out to all of the schools. Did you see it?
I did.
Okay,
I got it in my weekly email.
Yeah. Okay, it's working.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we're going to get the flyers and the press releases and everything out this week. Partnerships. I like to talk about how I'm reaching out to other organizations to see how we can engage and support and collaborate and this month I was connecting with Care Partners. I went and attended one of their Reframing Aging Roundtables, which is essentially a book club, but it's structured in such a way that it doesn't matter if you read the book at all. You can still come experience community and talk about the process of aging and also kind of how we're stereotyped or not in literature today. And it was so good. I had so much fun. There was lots of laughter, and it just was really well handled to get us all thinking differently. And so I came back to the library just looking at it with new eyes of, how do each of our ages engage with our physical space. And I had Julie come over to talk to me about kind of what Care Partners is up to these days and how we can work together. And one of the things that I really liked is she does a program for staff that helps raise awareness around working with, engaging with individuals experiencing dementia. And so, like, for example, we feel we need to feel the interaction was good, and we can retain that all day long. And so I'm working on setting up a customer service opportunity for us that I've also extended citywide to other departments to see if they'd like to come help build an age-friendly Cook County with me and Julie. Okay, and marketing and promotion, continuing to expand outreach efforts. I've been talking to City Hall. They're going to be putting up a new monitor in their lobby and flashing things across the screen. So I definitely want to get in there, but I was thinking about the potential of putting something together for anyone who is getting registered for public utilities. I was talking to Dave over at Parks and Rec to see what we could get going on their events bulletin board, as well as a shelf card or something that lives in the office to let every camper know they can register their library card here and come use and partake in our service here. So I'm also working on a summer reading program announcement that would go out there that would be tailored more towards our visitors. And I'm still wanting to connect with Visit Cook County and see what's available there. And I'm kind of interested in talking with lodge partners. I don't know if there's room and space or interest for us sharing information like that. Like, you can rent all these DVDs, games, and get the kids out for a day, even if it's raining and you don't want to get wet, whatever the situation is. And to just keep letting people know that this resource is available. You can register your card here.
Mm-hmm. I would, as speaking for lodges, if you provided me with that information,
Yeah.
I didn't have to think it up myself.
Yeah.
I would totally be passing that along.
Wow. Perfect.
Mm.
And are you thinking like a card or does it matter what form it takes?
Give me something it could be a card, but if I can scan it or you can provide it to me in a digital form.
Mm-hmm.
I send all sorts of stuff out before anybody shows up here, multiple times.
Okay, oh, so digital too. Got it.
So
That's so great. Thank you.
I think Gunflint also sends out a lot. I'm not sure the others do, but between the two of us, that hits a huge percentage of the people who visit the Gunflint. And
Yeah.
Everybody is happy with some digital content that they can share.
Great. Yeah, that's my report. I think I did it all.
Website.
Yeah.
You sent us.
Oh yeah.
You sent us.
Did you have a you had a live interactive experience, right? You could click on multiple pages.
really appreciate. Yeah, I really like the new format.
Wow. Yay. It's a much bigger shift than I thought I could have and was getting. But the developer we're working with, John, is fantastic, and he's just doing the thing. Yeah.
When is it going to go online?
I don't know yet. Well, let me talk to him about it.
It's much more 21st century.
Yeah.
Back to Hoopla. if I may.
Yeah,
So is that how it works? Is each patron gets 6 like uses annually or something? Or
monthly.
monthly.
Every month.
Oh,
It'll
okay,
reset every
that's-
month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's way different. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of
I really want to see this, but I gotta wait.
I was just trying to think of
6
which
months.
is like even books, you know, I was like, oh man, I'd never use that. But
yeah.
it'd be really interesting. I can't imagine it not being a hit. And I'm
Yeah.
just really curious about usage and where things might go.
Mm.
Like, how does White Lakes compare to our library as far
For
as
size.
checkouts or I don't know patrons or something?
I could have told you that information last week. There's so much in
It's
here.
fine.
Um,
That's
But I
all
can
good.
share that with you on the side, but I think they're smaller than us, and
Oh, okay.
I thought that it was gonna be a much larger budget, but when you look at the swath for our size, when you compare us across the country to libraries of our size, this is where we land for a starting point.
Wow.
And like Hoyt Lake said, it takes a minute for people to love it,
Sure.
as they,
Mhm.
try it out.
And we can just up it if we wanted to.
We can up it, we
Yeah.
can down it, we can cut it off at
Yeah.
any time. Yep,
Cool.
it's very flexible that way.
Mm.
Most people are, their standard options for the number per person is 7 and 10.
What's that? Like how many checkouts? Is that-
Yeah,
Yeah. So
they most often recommend to libraries that they allow 7 or 10 checkouts. Those two numbers are magic numbers for how people use content.
Hmm.
But they can also increase, decrease to help us work with our budget, especially when we're onboarding. And they said that they offer a lot of high touch, high contact support, especially while we're learning what our community is doing and interested in.
okay.
Yeah.
I guess where I was going with that is just depending on their size compared to us, and if they're budgeting 4,500, and I understand it might take a little bit for people to catch on, but I really think people jump.
They're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, well, is 3,000 enough? And
I asked them to run the numbers twice.
but we'll just, I guess, see how it goes. And
Surprising.
That's pretty reasonable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I was thinking last time after our discussion, do you offer any classes in how to use streaming media, how to I mean, we had 2 people here who still can't do this.
Hmm.
And I mean, I'm old. I've been doing this for 15 years. It's maybe people need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There aren't
That's a
even
good
going to
suggestion.
be CD players around pretty soon.
Mhm.
Well, okay, and this is part of our conversation. So let me say three, go 3 pathways as Gemini moon. And then I forgot every one of them. Number 1, I think it would be excellent. This is great feedback. If we are launching a platform, I'm hearing we also need a programming component. That's like once a month, we offer a thing that helps people use it the first time. And it could be a really excellent part of our
Yeah.
marketing promotion package. I love that.
Yeah.
Number 2, no, we don't do that in terms of programming, but anybody who walks through our door with questions gets one-on-one help. And also I know that Boreal does a lot with supporting technology use. So there are 3 or 4 organizations, agencies in the community that kind of like pass the potato on who's helping with the technology just based on trends. And it's like when things start to taper off here, someone else notices the gap and they pick it up. But everybody doing it at the same time also hasn't really been beneficial. So it's a mixed answer. We do it on the one-to-one based on what people come to us for. And also if they don't know to come to us, that they're not going to get that help. So I think it would be great to do it as a,
That's what I think, that if people, it's
Package.
announced in some way,
yeah.
someone is more likely to
Mhm.
proactively get that help.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so, okay. And so the third thing that I wanted to say was, where did we jumped from 25% to a third? What made that? And I can see now in the numbers that last year was the first year they recorded magazine checkout. And so that's accounting for, probably was already happening, but it's accounting for magazine checkout.
Mm.
And Hoopla doesn't solve the desirability of magazines, but the collection that's offered through Libby is quite substantial, and I'm very happy with it, and I haven't heard any complaints.
They're
Right?
really pushing the magazines on Libby.
Are they?
Yes,
Okay,
this
putting
is
them
what-
front and center.
recently, like in the past
Okay.
year,
Oh,
this
okay.
is what happened.
Okay, interesting. Where we're getting the hang up is audiobooks and ebooks with exceptional wait times. So this Hoopla model, if we loved it and we wanted to inspire different feedback, one of the things we can do is split the models where we have all the content that everybody can access while everybody else is accessing it, right?
Mhm.
Every user can access it to infinity at the same time within their 6 checkouts for the month. And then there's one where you can do one license, one user at a time. You have to wait. And then you can purchase high interest popular content. And you can even turn on models where it purchases extra copies to drive down demand. But that's where the budget gets much harder to control.
Mhm. Really curious what that
Yeah.
Yeah.
that per thing is, you know.
Work it and learn
Yeah.
how it'll function, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I have to have it for me to
Mhm.
get it.
Mhm. And that's a good point, that the infinite thing still qualifies in that 6 per patron too. I didn't really have that in my brain. I just assumed it was the higher demand stuff. So.
I want to go back to CDs. You have nothing better to do than listen to me talk about this, right? Okay, so yeah, CD change. Formats and technology grow up together, right? Like cars and computers used to be made with DVD, CD-ROM player things, and so everybody bought that format. And now we're getting to a point where even though there are communities of people, myself included, who still really love CDs and maybe even have a vehicle that plays them, they're gone. They're a thing of the past. So that computers produced now don't have a drive. The computers don't have it. Cars don't have it. And so that is being phased out as well. Families maybe don't always have CD players in the home anymore. Everybody's moving to their phone. And so we have over here a very small and shrinking collection of
Yanni.
books.
Oh, that's
Yanni? Maybe. Books with CD. Books with CD.
You can read along and listen.
Here, yeah, it's multisensory, right? It's multisensory and it's geared towards children learning to read and for engagement and everything. I every year I apply for an Hammer grant, or the library does. This is like an endowment that was left to us that every year we get to apply for the grant, and it allows us to purchase certain things, in particular award-winning books for children.
cool.
Published within the last 3 years or whatever it is.
Mhm.
But its goal is to help encourage reading and literacy capacity. And so this year I did something new, and I asked them to consider letting us purchase our first core set of materials of Vox books. So I don't know if you have experienced this, but libraries are starting to circulate these. It's a book that has a reading component in it. So you don't have a disc anymore. It's part of the book. And there are collections called Vox books, VOX, and there are collections called Wonder Books, with a WU, Wonder Books. And I think that the wonder books tend to appeal to a slightly older age group. So all to say, I'm exploring trials in multiple areas of the collection. I'm very interested to get the grant, but also to try circulating some of these materials in the library and see what happens. In other libraries, the communities have a voracious appetite for the material. And I also just received a grant from Arrowhead Library System to trial something called a Tony box.
Oh,
Anybody
we have one of those.
tell me, how do you love it?
Not.
Why? Tell me more.
The content, it's hard to get the content.
Mm-hmm.
Get
the little guys.
You gotta have all those little guys.
Gotta have the little
And you
guys.
gotta put the content
explain.
on them. You can buy them straight from Tony, like $27 a piece. I mean,
Yeah, they're
they're a
expensive.
bunch of money. And you can record your own content, but
Oh.
the library can't really record. Although you could get readers. One thing you could do, what we have done is we've very easily read into a Tony guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can listen to. You could have readers read to.
That would be so cool.
Read
I
to
mean-
Tony, not read to the client.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, two for one.
there'd be things you could do
Both of
with them. But it for the investment in the Tony and the initial
Yeah.
investment, it hasn't been as loved as anybody thought it was going to be. That's
Yeah.
our own experience.
Yeah.
But I done a lot with it.
Thank you for sharing. So other libraries, Two Harbors is one of them that they are trialing these, they're circulating them. And so a Tony box it's a cube.
It's the size of a Kleenex box.
Yep.
Mm.
And then there are these little figurines. They could be Paw Patrol or Cinderella's, like fairy princesses, or they're little figurines. And you load content onto those. You put that on top of the box, and it works.
Turns it off and on. It just starts it. It is kind of hard for the kids to go back and forth.
Okay.
You beat the box to do that. You hit it at different places, and
Oh,
Like the old
Golden
Atari
Time.
2600.
Yeah.
okay. Well, so I'm getting one of these through a grant because the initial it's an investment, and I kind of don't know where the community is looking to grow right now, but I do think it's a piece of technology for littles
really
that is screen free, and is something the library could just let everybody engage with and see what happens. I'm just very curious right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do some fun stuff with that when you start to think about it. So
Are you going to read
I'm,
for us? Is everybody on the board going to get the Dave Mills?
Nice.
Yes.
Can you do that? Do
Commissioner
custom
Mills.
little figures, and that'd be really fun.
Not
He
to,
said I
not to
could.
move us along, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
dog sitting and I have a dog in the car.
Oh, there you go.
my, okay.
That's been there for an hour and a half.
Yep.
All right. So thank you for that report.
But that all good information.
We have the standing items, strategic plan for your review, and the communications from the two funds. If anyone had any questions on either of those,
I move to adjourn.
we are adjourned.
At what time?
6:46.
6:46.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
well, so next.